In blacksmithing, we have basically 7 different processes that are done on a pretty regular basis. The first and foremost one would be drawing or tapering, where you're just taking the initial stock and thinning it out and making it longer. And the next one would be bending. That's pretty obvious. And we do bends either in vices, or we do bends over the horn of the anvil or the back edge of the anvil. Another process would be punching and piercing, primarily with punches. And there are many different types of punches. Another one would be spreading. So spreading is kind of like drawing and tapering, but we're trying to make the material move. Instead of drawing and tapering like this, where the material just moves in the axis that the material is in, we want to spread it in this direction. And it's more difficult than you think, but that's another process we need to do, is spread the material out 90 degrees from the axis of the original parent stock. Another process would be subtractive, the subtractive processes. So cutting would be a subtractive process, cutting with the hot cut or cutting with a saw, cutting with a chisel. Filing would be a subtractive process, and grinding on an electric grinder or a hand crank grinder or whatever. Another process would be upsetting. So in the upsetting process, if you can picture a nail head or a rivet head or something like that, where we have the initial material, and we often upset a nail head in one of the classes, and you're squashing, so you'll have a piece of material this long here, you squash it down into a nail head flat. That's called upsetting. And the last process would be additive. You're adding material. That can be done in forge welding, within heating the material up hot enough to fuse 2 pieces together. And then you could also consider different types of joinery in that process. So putting pieces together with rivets, with collar welds, and things like that, mortise and tenons, things like that, which would be additive. So those are basically the 7 processes that every blacksmith eventually learns throughout their blacksmithing career.